When my wife and I moved our family to St. Cloud, we did so without really doing much research, if anything, about the area. We moved here pretty blind to be close to family. Now, we didn't really do any research because we were only supposed to be here for about 6 months, and that was more than 7 years ago. So what I want to do today is give you some of the information, some of the insights that I wish I had before moving to St. Cloud. So this is Lakefront Park. We are just on the south bank of East Lake Toho, and as you can see, there's quite a bit to do. You have a great splash pad, you have a really great playground, kids are always here having fun there. You have this great beach area too, so even though we're in Central Florida, this is our version of a beach here right on the lake. You'll see a lot of people taking advantage of these trails to come out and get some exercise, take their dogs for a walk, whatever. Just enjoy the water, enjoy the weather, and enjoy Florida. In February, the kids don't get off school for President's Day, but they do get off for Rodeo Day, which I'll be honest, when we first moved here, we thought, where did we move that kids aren't going to school for Rodeo Day? But it's actually really cool. There is a long tradition of ranching and a huge agricultural background here in the St. Cloud area, and there's still quite a bit of ranching and farming that goes on. So that Friday, the kids are off of school for Rodeo Day instead of for President's Day, and it's a great tradition that's been here since at least 1950s. One of my favorite things about living in St. Cloud is our location. So here we're located just outside of the city of Orlando, but you still have access to everything that Central Florida has to offer, whether it's the theme parks, downtown Orlando, the Orlando airport, or even the beaches are not that far away. So you really get the best of both worlds with the small town vibes of St. Cloud, but still proximity and access to everything that the Orlando area has to offer. Now, if you watched my last video on downtown St. Cloud, which I'll link here, you'll know that St. Cloud was founded in 1909 as a retirement settlement for Union Civil War veterans. You'll see some streets like Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, just to name a few, and these were named in homage to some of those northern states. Now, this downtown area is affectionately known as the State Streets for that reason. One of the things that we were really surprised about when we moved here is actually how many great parks there are for kids. When we moved here, our kids were very young, 1 and 3, almost 1 and almost 3. So we spent a lot of time at parks and things like that. So this is one of our very favorite parks, and it is still one of my kids' favorite parks. This is called Cannery Park, and this is actually one of the newer parks in St. Cloud. What I love is that it's actually made to be inclusive of kids of all physical abilities. So you'll see a lot of equipment that is a little bit different than you may be used to seeing in traditional parks, but I love that. Now, one of the big draws of St. Cloud is actually housing prices. So homes here are priced quite a bit lower than they are in a lot of other areas in Orlando. Now, one of the things that I particularly love about real estate here in St. Cloud is the diversity of different communities and home types. There is a ton of new construction. There are many, many thousands of homes that are being built right now. There are a lot of different areas to choose from. Right now, we're in Harmony, and this is a very established community here in St. Cloud. There's a golf course here on site. There's an elementary, middle, and high school all here within Harmony. Now, for people that are looking for options that are outside of kind of a traditional HOA type of community, there are so many options here in St. Cloud too. Where we were earlier on the State Streets, those are non-HOA areas, so you're gonna have a lot of homes, actually a lot of homes that were built in the early 1900s when St. Cloud was established. But there's also areas like Bay Lake Ranch or the Manor where you can have a little bit of space, a little bit of land, a little bit of acreage, if you want a little bit of space to stretch out and not be on top of your neighbors. Because home prices are a little bit more affordable here, a lot of people move here so that they can get a little bit more yard, a little bit more space. That's one of the reasons that we are still living in St. Cloud, and we love that. We love having a backyard, having space for our pool, the dog to run around and go crazy. Now, Harmony is really a great community for people of all ages. There are certain areas that are 55 plus with their own amenities, things like pools and stuff like that. Harmony is really sought after by a lot of families, and that's because Harmony Elementary School, which is here within the community, is consistently rated as one of the top elementary schools in all of Osceola County. So you'll see a lot of families prioritizing living in Harmony for that reason. If you are looking for a beautiful environment, a lot of nature, and a quiet lifestyle, Harmony is an amazing opportunity. The two questions I get from nearly every single home buyer that moves from out of state into Florida: are there alligators and are there hurricanes? The answer is yes and yes. Now, the alligators, pretty much if there is water, I wouldn't go in it. Any water that you can't see through, you can pretty safely bet that there is something swimming in there, or that at least has access to it. So don't go in it, don't walk your dogs around it. But generally speaking, as long as you don't bother them, they don't bother you. So it's really not something that you need to be concerned about. Now, are there hurricanes? Yes, we do get bad weather here in Central Florida. Now, thankfully, because of where we're at, we're about an hour, hour and a half from the East Coast and a little bit more than that from the West Coast of Florida. So we're pretty insulated inland from the worst of the weather. There are storms, there is bad weather that comes through, but by and large here, the biggest thing that you're gonna have to deal with is a loss of power and perhaps some downed trees and minor damage like that. Now, as far as the weather, it is really hot. The summer months here are very uncomfortable, but we make up for it during our winters and our falls, which are much more temperate and super nice weather, to be honest with you. During the summers, we do get pretty much daily thunderstorms around 3 o'clock, a lot of rain, but they're pretty short-lived. My name is Chad. Thank you so much for joining us today as we went around St. Cloud. I love living here, and I think that you probably would too. If you have any questions about St. Cloud or about relocating to the St. Cloud area, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to help.